This is a strategic rejection on ETH/USD 4-hour chart, which means market have capability of moving from here all the way to the upside, and this is very important for the market. I'll be discussing this in detail in this very video. And if you look at the price of Bitcoin, something very crazy is going to happen on price action if we see the market on BTCUSD 1-day chart break out of this important level of resistance trend line. If this happen, market is going to explode all the way to the upside. I'll go into the detail in this very video. And if you come to Pi, market is going to, from where the market is right now, come back all the way to the downside, and basically this market from here move back down. All of this and many more in this very video, so pay attention and watch this video gradually all the way to the very end. The most important chart right now is the Bitcoin price action, and looking at the 1-day chart, it is covered that market is moving upward, and this was a very serious rejection all the way from the downside. Market move all the way downward, enter into this area of 100k, exact same level we're expecting market to enter into, 1,200 and 1,100, and this is very important. So market come back down into this very point of interest right here. And not only that, but immediately we see rejection of price. And if we see rejection of price, it means that there are a lot of buyers at this very point that bought at that very lower price, pushing the market all the way to the upside to where the market is right now of $105k. This is very important because what I am not looking at, even though we are already at weekend, is if this candle forming right now, right here, close bullish, then the market have a lot of capability of moving all the way to the upside, and this is my personal opinion. And one other thing that is also very important on the price action is that I am no longer expecting the market to come down below this very price level of 100,600, and this is very, very important. So market can move upward and then come back a little bit and then move upward again, but below this very price area right here of 100,600, I am not expecting the market to move into that very price level or below that anymore on price action. And this is my personal opinion. Market can do anyhow, but what I am not looking at is what I am telling you on this very price action. So market should move upward, especially if we see this very candle forming right now close bullish on price action on the 1-day chart. And this is what you must have to pay attention to be in the right direction of the market, because it's very, very important for the market moving forward. And if you look at the BTC 4-hour chart, you discover that this was a quick rejection. Look at it, market come back down with this severe drop, and then market push up again. So this was a V formation. There's what we call V formation on price action, which indicates a sharp move to the downside, sharp movement upward, or sharp move upward, sharp movement downward. This is what we see right here, V formation. Market move back downward and move sharply all the way to the upside, recovering that very move. Not only that, we are seeing this very breakout happening on the price action right now, and what I am expecting on the 4-hour chart is for the market to move upward a little bit and then retracement to retest on this very important level of trend line, which would now turn support for the market to move upward again in the near future. And this is very important. Pay attention to these guys to be in the right direction of the market, because this is very, very important. Now, this is one thing that is also very key on this very price action. You may be looking at something very different, that is the market still coming all the way to the downside below the $100k. That is not what I am looking at. Again, on price action, the possibility of market going below 100k is there, but in my opinion, what I am not looking at is for market to move all the way to the upside in this very formation. Market should move upward a little bit, and then we should see correction, and this very trend line, which is a resistance trend line, will not act as a support for the market to move all the way to the upside. on the 4-hour chart, this is what I am not expecting moving forward. Of course, market is going to retrace, but that retracement is not going to make us go into this very price level or 100k $600. I am not expecting the market to go below this very area anymore on price action, BTC USDT 4-hour chart, and also on the 1-day chart. And if you come to the ETH price action, you discover that market is at this very point of $2,500 right here. And what that means is if market drop this much into this very area, and then we are seeing little move all the way to the upside, market is climbing gradually upward, it means that the market also have capability of coming back down a little bit, because if you look at this very force all the way to the downside is very aggressive, and what we are seeing from price action from here moving forward is not that good, okay, not a good momentum, which means markets have to come back down a little bit before the next move to the upside. And that is what I am also personally expecting right now. So what I am looking at on this very price action is for the market to move upward a little bit, and then after that movement, market should correct back down in favor of this very movement to the downside before the next move upward. So practically on this very price action, look at market moving all the way to the upside. So from where the market is right here, expect the next move to enter into the market a little bit into this very area where we have this very fair value gap. Let me mark that out so that you can see it clearly on price action. There is a gap right at this very point, which is very, very important. That is where I am expecting the market to move into, and then from here, market is going to come back down for another leg of retracement. That is from here, expect the market to come back down for retracement. Probably market is going to enter into this level again before the next move upward. But one thing that is very sure on this very price action is that market is still going to retrace back down before the final move to the upside, and this is very, very important. Pay attention to this very level, which is a very important level of interest for the market to retrace from before the next move upward on ETH 4-hour chart. And if you look at the ETH 1-day chart, you discover that market is still very, very bullish. Look at it right here. Market is still within this very triangular pattern formation from this very point to the downside right here. This is our rectangular pattern, and once the market begin to move upward and we see a breakout of this very rectangle, it means that the market have capability of moving all the way to the upside, and that is what I am paying attention to as well. And market is going to move aggressively into this very area of $3,500 level. I have said it before in my last video, and that very breakout is very important. But before that happens, on the 4-hour chart, we will see market begin to move upward and create new highs, and this is very important. But that breakout here on level of resistance is very important for market moving forward and in line with this very bullish rectangular pattern. This is what you need to pay attention to on ETH to be in the right direction of the market right now. And if you come to the Pi USD 4-hour chart, Pi charts have not been very good. If you look at it, market is very, very bearish, and I am still very bearish on the price of Pi. For year, on this very price action, you discover that market come back down, create a new low right at this very point, lower than the previous low at this very area. And this is still within our zone of interest, no doubt. But if you look at where the market is right now at this very point, market have capability of coming back down. That is what I am looking at. And you may be looking at something very different, and that is very okay. That is the beauty of price action. And from here, I am expecting the market to come back down and create a new low, lower than the previous low at this very point, and a possible grab of liquidity from this very area right here of interest. Because if you look at it, this was a very important area where we see market move from in the past. So this very point is an important point where liquidity is. So market have capability of coming back down, grab liquidity from that very point of interest before the next move upward. And that is what I am looking at right here. Market should come back down from here all the way to the downside, grab liquidity from here before the final move to the upside. And of course, market may not come into this very area. That is why we need to pay attention to this very point of important resistance right at this very point. Okay, so if market move upward and break this level of important resistance right here, which is a very important other block area in the market, then market is going to move upward. That means market moving from here to this very area and break out on this very point of important resistance, meaning market is going to move upward into this very area of interest as well. So these are the two sides of the market that you need to pay attention to right now on price action by USD 4-hour chart from now moving forward. And if you take a look at the global crypto market capitalization right here, market have increased by 1.41% from $3.27 trillion to $3.29 trillion, as you can see right here on coin market cap, which means a little liquidity is entering into the market as the price of Bitcoin begin to move upward, as you can see right here right now. And this is what is very important, because as Bitcoin begin to move upward, we're going to see an increase in this global crypto market cap, which is very, very important in the market. And like I said earlier, in this very bull cycle, I am expecting the global crypto market cap to go above $5 trillion. And this is very important. And if you look at the fear and greed index, it discovered that the market have now entered the neutral zone. And of course, market is bouncing back, especially on the price of Bitcoin. And next week, in upper week, I am expecting the market to move into the greed area. This is my personal opinion. You may have something very contrary to this, and that is very fine as well. This is what you need to pay attention to right now on price action: ETH/USDT, BTCUSDT, and PYUSDT. 1-hour chart and 4-hour chart. Consider supporting this channel by leaving a like for this video, subscribe if you have not, and turn on the bell notification for more crypto videos like this one. Also check the channel for other crypto content. Join our Telegram channel, link in the description of this very video, and also in the pinned comments, join. It is a free channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.